You're listening to 17 Carat K-Pop, the show that's a little bit of everything with a K-pop twist. Visit 17caratkpop.weebly.com for more information about the show. That's 17caratkpop.weebly.com. Enjoy the show! Before you listen to this episode, there are a few breaking news updates that I want to share that have to do with stories that I talk about in this episode. First of all, I say in this episode that Stray Kids' Backdoor video reached 30 million views, but between the time I said that and the time you're listening to this, it has risen to 40 million views, so I just want to clarify that. Also, I talk about the whole confusion over TikTok's legal status in the USA, and the latest within the past 24 hours or so is that TikTok's ban is at least postponed until next Sunday, but it may be... There are conflicting reports about the status from there. It sounds like it may never be banned in the USA if Oracle officially is going through with this partnership. So the status is up in the air, but TikTok is not officially banned in the USA yet, so I wanted to make that clear. Also, WeChat, a federal judge prevented WeChat from being banned. Thank goodness, and I talk about why that's such a big deal on this episode, but I just wanted to clarify that the latest breaking news is that WeChat, TikTok's legal status is still up in the air, but WeChat is saved for the foreseeable future. So WeChat is not banned. Federal judge blocked that. It was totally against the law to ban that source of communication. So just wanted to give you those updates. Now, enjoy this episode. Hello everybody and welcome back to 17 Carat K-Pop. There is a lot I have to get to talking about soon, including the Island season finale, BTS's latest live performances, IU's 12-year career anniversary, all of that, but I will save my yays and nays for the next episode this week. This one I want to just spend a little bit of time talking about some more rapid-fire headlines in the world of K-pop, and then I want to move on to dissecting the latest LOONA comeback teaser, because there is a lot there we need to talk about. But I do want to take a moment to just fangirl a little over 17's comeback. They're coming in October, and I don't know what we did to deserve LOONA and 17 comebacks in the same month, and TXT, and so many others, but October sounds like it's going to be so full. Blackpink, October 2nd, and the Netflix documentary mid-October. I could keep thinking of them as I talk, but you get the point. So I'm very excited for all October has in store, music-wise, and there will be a lot of content to cover on the show, obviously, so stay tuned. But I just wanted to take a moment to think about this because I'm just so excited for 17's comeback. We need a 17 comeback, and that is all. I'm just very excited about it, and I had to say that. Enough blabbering about 17 for now. Let's get to the news. Wonho now has an official TikTok account. Chanyeol and Irene from Red Velvet are the newest Prada ambassadors, and the campaign looks really gorgeous. Yuki from G-Idol now has her own Kaiko TV show. It's called Learn Way, and she will be meeting and talking with people from all sorts of sectors of the Hallyu world and the K-pop industry through the show, which is really exciting, and I love her personality. It's great for a TV show, so very excited for that. I know this is a rapid fire round, but I just had to say that. Blackpink has a new collab with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds mobile game. Hyze has officially joined P Nation's lineup, and Katie has joined EN Entertainment for North American promo, and Katie will be joining Eric Nam and Epic High at that company. K-Contact, aka K-Con October Edition, is going to have a docuseries before the official K-Con starts. So every day leading up to K-Con in October, starting October 2nd, on YouTube, you can watch a new episode of this docuseries that will take you behind the scenes of what artists were up to, rehearsing for and preparing for the first digital K-Con that took place this summer. And each episode, again, will be out starting October 2nd every day, 11 p.m. Korean time, which is 9 a.m. Chicago time that same day. Burning Sun scandal update. The latest is that Soon Lee from Big Bang, he is admitted to one of the charges but denied the 7 others. So this, I feel, is one of many dominoes that will fall, because once you admit to one charge, that opens up more skepticism towards the other charges and your guilt there. but he is only admitted to violating the Foreign Exchange Transactions Act, and all the others he still denies. His next trial will take place in mid-October, and he'll probably plead guilty to more then, in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. Jay from Day 6 has a new clothing line out with the brand Represent, so you can buy that at represent.com/Jay, that's Jae. Some quick stat updates. Jackson Wayne's new collab with Galantis, Pretty Please, already has 10 million views. Stray Kids' Backdoor video and Jesse's New Nana both have 30 million views now. Blackpink's Whistle has 550 million views. And Blackpink's How You Like That is the first ever Korean girl group song to go gold in Canada. Got7 now has 8 million followers on VLive. Stray Kids' new album is doing so well. I'd like to think 17 Carat K-Pop gave it the bump it needed, but I know it wasn't me, but I like to pretend. So congrats to Stray Kids for In Life, because the album reached #1 on iTunes in 23 different countries, probably more at the time of recording by now. And the Backdoor video, as of right now, like I said, has 30 million views and counting, but it also broke a personal record for them because it got 10 million views in just 28 hours, so the fastest to reach 10 million of their catalog. Also, congrats to BTS's Dynamite, which, yes, continues to win awards. It's now the first and only song ever in Korean music history to achieve 400 perfect all kills on the charts, which is just huge and exciting and well-deserved. From Miss Nine's comeback, My Little Society, that album reached #1 on iTunes in 5 different regions, which is a very big deal for a group who went on quite a long hiatus compared to most K-pop groups. So the fact they still had that excitement in different parts of the world is very exciting to see. Quick moment to talk about 17, because 17. And first of all, I really like the new song with Pink Sweat, 17. It was surprising, it was unexpected, but in a good way. It was calming, it was nice. It's just a great song. Like, you can't really have objections to this song. I feel like it's one of those that there's nothing to hate about it. So congrats to Joshua and DK for the Pink Sweats collab. I love it, and it turned out really nice. And I'm excited for you guys to have been able to collaborate with someone who you're a genuine fan of, which is great to hear about. And I can't wait to talk more about 17 when their October comeback comes. Also, congrats to 17, because 24 Hours is now their 4th consecutive album, 4th in a row, to top the Oricon weekly album charts. I'm sure their October release will become their 5th album to top those charts. Also, 17 was added to the SBS Ontact lineup. I know I mentioned this before, but I don't feel like I emphasized enough that it is exciting that they're part of this lineup, because I was focused on being annoyed and frustrated that I thought they were part of Fall K-Con, and this is a totally different event with a very similar name. But I do want to emphasize I'm glad they're part of that event as well. So this SBS hosted Ontact event, which is not Contact, which is a different event. Anyway, they are part of that lineup, and I am excited for them. So that will be on day 2 of that, which is October 4th at 8 p.m. That's a Sunday. So just a PSA that they are still having some online live show, if not Fall K-Con, which who knows, maybe that's announced by the time this episode comes out. And if so, if you hear a high-pitched scream in the distance, that's me. Before I move on to my quarantine segment about the latest in music trends and happenings in this very weird year for music and for the entertainment industry as a whole, I just want to give you an action of the day. Please check out and read this poetry book. It's called Prelude to Bruise. It's by Saeed Jones. That's Saeed Jones. A very powerful story, and I don't want to say any more. It's a poetry book. It's called Prelude to Bruise. It's very relevant and important, and that's all I want to say. Just please check that out, or other Black poetry authors. There are so many that are just so impressive and remarkable, and I'll give more recommendations in the coming episodes. So, all right, let's talk about the world of quarantines these days. So first of all, TikTok is officially banned in the USA as well as WeChat. And for WeChat, I believe it's just a total ban now, whereas TikTok is a partial ban. So if you have the app downloaded, you don't have to get rid of it off your phone, but you just will never be able to update it, so it will gradually get worse, and you'll never be able to purchase it if you have not downloaded it yet. So you can no longer download it, but if you have downloaded it, you can keep it. that can still be reversed for two reasons. One is that now a new deadline is set for a possible reversal by November 12th, and two is that TikTok is still planning to go forward with a lawsuit calling this ban in the US unlawful and unfounded based on unfounded security concerns. So there may be a lawsuit and a reversal in this ban, but for now it's banned in the USA, which is already causing a bit of havoc in some online fan communities because when they try to help spread the word about specific artists, they have different admins in different parts of the world. So now if you were the admin who ran a fan site for 17, for example, and you were in the USA and you were in charge of like the 17 social media updates, now you have to go switch some of your jobs and maybe now you're reporting more on their concert schedule or something, and you have to give the TikTok upload assignment to a different fan site member because you can't do that anymore because you can't access TikTok. Whatever it is, that's just one of the many ways it's really causing some havoc, especially because, like I've said before, don't underestimate how powerful TikTok and similar apps are to get people to be introduced to new music. And so it's harder than ever to get your music out there, and TikTok was an avenue that helped a little ease that frustration, but now that's gone here. But we'll see. Again, it can be reversed. Also, this is not being talked about enough, the WeChat aspect of this, because if anything, honestly, if one of them had to have a full ban instead of a partial ban, it should have been TikTok, not WeChat. Just because WeChat is, you need to contact someone in China, your main outlet to do that is WeChat. It's not like you can just use any social media app to talk to people, because social media use is very limited in China. So to stop friends and family from getting to talk to their loved ones in China is the problems with that cannot be emphasized enough. And so, gosh, I just want more attention on that, and at least, that's what should be talked about in court. If there's only time for one of these reversals, it better be about reversing the WeChat ban, because that has huge impacts and implications for Americans who want to contact loved ones in China. So, some more bad news, unfortunately, but somewhat interesting and could be hopeful eventually. A story of how they persevered, I don't know. But there's a lot happening with K-pop companies that are smaller and that rely a lot on overseas fan meetings and shows to get their revenue. So, we've talked about this a bit on the show before, but the latest comes from a Channel A news report that talked to different K-pop rookie groups and their agencies about the hardships that COVID has brought them because of all the cancellations of events, the mounting debt. So, naturally what happens when they cancel these events, which they have to because traveling is so restricted these days, is that these rookie groups that are about to debut or just debuted, they are racking up fees for practice rooms, for vocal coaches, for hairstylists and makeup artists. They're racking up all these fees, and for album production, all of that, and they're spending more money than they're earning because the chances to earn money are very, very limited these days. And so that's the key problem. So there are conflicting reports I've seen. Some say 30, some say 34, but at least 30 underdog K-pop companies have already closed their doors this year. And group members are continuing to voice their concerns about that. So in this Channel A report, they highlighted that they feel like they're losing a lot of staff. So one group talked about how they used to have an office for their company and a practice room and all of that, but now the office had to shut down because they're trying to trim costs anywhere they can. So they don't really have a management. They're just kind of doing everything themselves. So they have to take really hard trade-offs, these groups these days. Do we save the money for our practice room, or do we spend the money on keeping an office and practicing on the street or in a garage or something? And trade-offs like that are happening. Some rookie groups are just doing their own hair and makeup now, or serving as their own tutors in a way, or helping the younger members with their schoolwork. They kind of have to parent themselves these days if they can't afford staff to help supervise them. And keep in mind that some of the people that are just joining rookie K-pop groups or about to debut are super young. They might be 13 and they're kind of left to their own devices now. So this is a huge issue on more fronts than just financial. That's something to keep in mind. There was one of the girl groups they talked to called Black Swan. They were interviewed talking about how they've had so many events canceled this year, so many plans canceled, and now their comeback is just indefinitely postponed. So again, it's not just financial, but keep in mind that when you're training to be a K-pop star, you go to Korea to train for that, and you live in a dorm setting and all of that. So imagine all the upheaval in your life and the culture shock and all of the other heightened emotion that you have to deal with when you're training to debut, and then to have your debut abruptly postponed indefinitely. That is so scary. So I feel so bad for them. Channel A talked to a few other girl groups. One group, ICU, which I feel like is a very, very morbidly symbolic / ironic name for the group they talked to for this event. But anyway, so ICU is the name of a group, and they revealed that they've had a lot of cancellations this year, already 30 events, and think about all the money that you can make from one of those, and times 30, that is so much down the drain. Another group talked to was this girl group called Chic Angel, and Chic Angel, one member really expressed how this has taken a toll on her parents, because it's not just a toll on the members, but their families that were hoping that they could, make it big so that they could, gain more income or change their standard of living or whatever. And of course, there's the dorm aspect where they might feel lonely and have missed their parents, and to suddenly feel like that was all for nothing and those sacrifices didn't pay off must be so devastating. So there are a lot of emotions, obviously, that come with the uncertainty of the future, but the ultimate one that this broadcast showed in these potential K-pop future stars was fear of not making it, of disappointing loved ones, of losing money, so much fear. And so that is something we can all relate to at this time, and it's just really sad to see. But I do have two to three positive news updates about how their futures might look. One is that South Korea has just recently changed their financial unemployment benefits to expand in a way, because previously singers had been voicing their concerns about South Korea's coronavirus aid packages helping dancers and actors more than singers, and they felt kind of left out of the performer label as it applied to this benefit they could get. And so now the definition of these performers that are entitled to this unemployment benefit is expanded. So the estimate is about 70,000 new K-pop performers can be added to the eligibility list for unemployment aid through this new plan. So I really hope that helps tide some of these companies over. The details are a bit unclear, because it sounds like this new eligibility won't take effect until December. So I don't know if that means they can get the money now, but it's sort of like a loan until December and then the debt is waived, or if it has to do with you can't even apply till December. I'm not sure exactly why December is a marker here, but that is what's happening. Anyway, the point is that South Korea is trying to help them out financially, and other parts of the world are trying to do what they can to help their entertainment industries. Austria recently did this as well, where they set up this huge millions of dollars worth of funding aside for TV and movie crews who had to postpone projects and project filming due to COVID. The USA is trying to, or at least a few senators are, I'm not sure if it's going anywhere, but pass a Save Our Stages Act that would help keep these independent venues open. So other countries are trying to help out, but I just want to bring attention to the fact that the arts give so much to our lives, and gosh, I hope they don't get belittled or viewed as not worthy of the same financial aid as other businesses and industries, because the entertainment industry is what makes our lives so much better. And so I really hope these succeed in helping artists and everyone who helps put on these productions and shows the world their art. The second positive news, sort of, is that not only is some financial aid coming, but there are more unique alternatives that continue to take place where they can continue to show off their performances. And the latest example is the Seoul Circus Festival. 30 cars get to watch each show. It's going to be kind of like a Broadway run where a show is every day for a long time. So throughout October and November, up to 30 cars each showing can get to watch this drive-in circus, and up to only 3 people per car, so they're going to be very careful and safe about this. And it's a free event, it sounds like. So it's really just for citizens of South Korea to just enjoy some entertainment and to give the performers a place to show their passion. And it sounds like a really great opportunity to just get out of the house and just have some escapism. So they're going to continue this circus fun that they have every year, but in a new format. So there are two legs of this event. One will be in early October with 16 different acts throughout the show, and then one that's mid-October to early November will feature what they call contemporary acts. I'm not sure what the difference is between traditional and contemporary circus acts, but I'm guessing it's more performative, interpretive dance and things like that as opposed to like literal clowns, but that's my guess. The second half of October also features some online performances people can watch, so this circus is really going to continue to try to go all out to entertain people. The best part I think about this is that 5 of the 30 cars for each showing will be reserved for people who don't have cars that still want to see the show. So there'll be like 5 rentals in the parking lot, and I just think that's a really awesome thing to do. So that's just a story that really uplifted me, and so I hope it uplifted you too. That is the latest in terms of how groups are coping, and I will keep you posted on this, and let's just hope for the best, fingers crossed, that they get the financial and emotional support that they need and deserve. After the break, let's dissect the latest teaser for the Loona comeback. Before we get started talking about the Loona comeback, I just want to say a quick congrats to them because the Plus Plus EP reached #1 on the iTunes chart in the USA just the other day. Over 2 years after its release, it reached #1. So congrats to them. I'm not sure what caused that. I wonder if it's the Everglow effect, where with Everglow was that streamer who ended up playing Everglow music in the background, and that caused Everglow streams to just skyrocket, and suddenly they were charting again with a song that was months old, if not over a year old. So I wonder if it was something like that, like some influencer ended up playing Loona music, and that caused Shazams and streams and purchases to skyrocket. But whatever the case may be, congrats to them. Very well deserved. First of all, keep in mind that this new album is called 12 O'Clock and is going to be out October 19th. So mark your calendars for that, and keep in mind the significance of the number 12. So, super quick recap, the most condensed version ever of the LOONAverse and what it's all about. You can get the more fleshed out a breakdown of what it's all about on my Loona dedicated episodes of this show, but for now, quick recap. So the LOONAverse, the music video worlds created by Loona, there are 3 of them essentially, then they all combine to form one mega world. At least that's the end goal of the characters, is to find a way to bring all their worlds together. So the worlds in the LOONAverse exist on this Mobius strip of sorts. There's the Utopia world that's called Eden, then there's Earth, which features the more just down-to-earth characters and locations, just like any people you would see in your daily life without magical powers or anything. And then there is the Odd Eye Circle world, which is called Middle Earth, which is basically, it can only be seen if the 3 moons are colliding, so there has to be a certain eclipse or other certain lunar situation happening in order for you to see Odd Eye Circle, and so they are the ones with these magical powers to go between the worlds. So there are 3 subunits, and each one has a world. So Loona YYXY lives in this utopia, this Edenism. Loona 1/3 lives on Earth. Those are the people just in their regular daily life without special powers. And Odd Eye Circle is in the Middle Earth, and they have the special powers, and the moon and eclipses are all the most important symbols to them. So Loona YYXY, Eden, Loona 1/3, Earth, and Odd Eye Circle, Middle Earth. So now that we've got that covered, there are a few key lines and symbols in the timeline of Loona solo releases that I want to highlight again. So remember that this whole story started with Heejin's character being introduced to the world, and she had this lyric in her song Vivid that goes, "The world without any colors, it's boring." And that's a key lyric to keep in mind, that she's just talking about literally adding color to the world and feeling like it's boring without a lot of unique colors. We had a little while later, Hassel was introduced to us, and in the Let Me In video, she's sitting on this wrecked plane. So there are also all these little diamonds in the ground, just left in the dirt, so keep in mind that setting. Now, moving way forward in the timeline, when we stop talking about the first members we were introduced to, and we're entering like this middle of the story before we're getting to a climax or anything, the Loona members, each of their videos suddenly had a different intro screen than they had previously. So Loona's logo was suddenly black instead of white, and then that changed all the settings. So this is like another side of the moon, I guess you could call it. Because following the change in the Loona logo at the start of a video, we saw Kim Lip performing songs like Eclipse and Twilight, which is obviously has a lot of references just straight up to the moon and all of that. And so keep that in mind. Also, there's a lyric in Jinsoul's video for Standing in the Rain. In that song, she references this nocturnal sun, which again is a nice fancy way to talk about the moon here. So that remains important to keep in mind. And then later on, flash forward, and we see that Cherry has the Love Cherry Motion video, where you see for the first time really what's highlighted are the fact that there are 3 moons that come together. And so keep in mind that Girl Front featured one 3-colored moon, and then this features 3 moons each with their own color. 3 moons, 1 color each, or 1 moon, 3 colors. So anyway, it's a Girl Front parallel with Love Cherry Motion here. And other stories and songs continue to have those parallels with other songs and other subunits, and it just shows that they're all connected, they're all referencing each other, they're all trying to find ways, these characters and subunits, to connect their storylines, and there are a lot of hints to that, but those are some of the key ones. Then we had all the Loona members finally come together, and we saw them all for the first time together for Favorite. And then Hi Hi is when this is going to be key. So the next few videos I want to quickly summarize have to do with the story that we're getting teased about that's coming out next month. So Hi Hi has 2 key details I want you to keep in mind. One is that the overall plot of the Hi Hi video, and this isn't theory, this is literally the description of the video. It's the story of how the Loona 1/3 subunit, the, average humans, quote-unquote, subunit, meets the ones with superpowers, the Odd Eye Circle subunit. And then they can unite with the Eden group, YYXY. So this is when Loona 1/3 meets Odd Eye Circle. Also key about this video, the second thing is that keep in mind that there is a very quick moment where you see a close-up camera footage of a white sneaker, and these white sneakers are also the ones that are being held in the butterfly video. So actually remember that, I think I talked about this on the show before, that Loona has mentioned in interviews before that fashion is a key vehicle they use to show the symbols that reveal deeper meaning of their stories. So always pay attention to the fashion in Loona videos because they're trying to tell us something. And this is another one of those times where I think they're clearly giving a hint at what was to come, because in the Hi Hi video we saw the white shoes, and that became again used in the butterfly video after that, when there's one of the girls in the butterfly video is sitting on a ledge and she takes off her shoes and she's holding them by the laces. So just keep that in mind, that they're always trying to find ways to show that their videos are connected, and fashion is a key way to do that. So those are the things to remember about the Hi Hi video. It's when subunits are meeting each other and the white sneakers are key. Then we move on to the butterfly video, and we see that different girls are dancing and showing their true colors, and the whole theme of Fly Like a Butterfly is all about what Loona is all about, how we are all Loona and we can all learn to be Loona and live together and all of that great stuff. Now, the key one that has to do with even more than all the other videos, the key video to keep in mind for this upcoming comeback is for So What. So remember the Loona hashtag album, there was a monologue at the beginning of the video for its single, So What? And so the monologue said, quote, "Do not accept the fate of the moon, get off the track, reveal to the world the hid inside, and burn yourself." So let's unpack this. So first of all, do not accept the fate of the moon. Clearly that is a reference to the fact that they felt like in order to get to the world where they had superpowers, they had to wait for those moments where the moons would all converge. And this line to me I interpret as kind of just saying you don't have to wait for those moments. You can always channel your inner superpower. Get off the track. That lyric, just keep in mind for later. We'll get back to that. reveal to the world the hidden side. That's again showing that they're trying to find a way to combine these worlds and reveal new sides of themselves. And then the lyric, or the part of the monologue, the sentence, burn yourself, that clearly has to do with the flame imagery that we see more than ever starting with this video. So in this video, remember, for So What, Olivia is holding up a torch, and at the very end of the video, we also see small little flames flickering from the ground, and this ground has these white feathers on it, which made me think about that Let Me In video with the diamonds on the ground, but now they're these white feathers, kind of a symbol of a rebirth of a phoenix or something. Is kind of where my mind went when watching that. Also, this seems to be not discussed enough when talking about the LOONAverse. The hashtag album has this bonus track called Back of the Moon. It's like CD only bonus track. It's a very under the radar track intentionally, but it's called Back of the Moon, and the official description of this song is, quote, instead of a moon that does not shine on its own and always shows the same side, Luna serve as this fuse. And it goes on and on to talk about how Luna basically is finding a way, again, to connect all of these sides of the different moons, as they put it. And it's all a metaphor, really, and how Luna is the central home, really, where all of our orbits can be aligned and they can like unite the world, essentially, is what I got from that track. So that was called Back of the Moon, and that is key to keep in mind. Now let's talk about some takeaways from the new teaser. There is a lot that happens in just a minute or less in this teaser for the upcoming Luna comeback. First of 6 key takeaways from this teaser to keep in mind. We are getting a lot of hidden and overt acknowledgments that this upcoming comeback will focus on the Luna 1/3 subunit. So the ones that are on Earth who view themselves as not supernatural in any way. This is the subunit that this comeback is surely going to focus on. And there are a couple of ways that indicate that. One is that, remember that the members that make up the Luna 1/3 subunit they all seem to be playing a key role in this teaser. So, first of all of their stories started in a different part of the world: Hong Kong, France, Japan, and Iceland. And now, all 4 of those places were featured in this teaser. So that's a big hint. As well as New Zealand was featured. That's where the Luna 1/3 subunit filmed Love and Live. And Czech Republic was featured, which is where they filmed Sonatine, excuse me if I said that wrong. But anyway, they filmed videos, and their characters reside essentially in all the locations that were a part of this teaser. So it's all Luna 1/3 based, and each of the characters in the Luna 1/3 subunit seem to be given extra prominence in the teaser in more subtle ways too. So Luna 1/3 is the subunit with Heejin, Vivi, Hassel, and Hyunjin. And so let's talk about how they're each represented in this teaser. So Heejin, remember, she started this whole storyline. She was the first member to be introduced to the world with her own solo video, where she had that line, "The world without colors is boring." So that's, I think, her nod in this teaser, is the fact that in the teaser you will see all of the colors converging at one point in their logo and stuff, and you'll see, just watch it. But yeah, Heejin's lyric just came to mind when I saw that moment, and so that's her little wink and nod in the video that I saw. Now Vivi, she, I think, was kind of alluded to as a key character going forward in this video, because remember, in her video for Every Day I Need You, she was just wandering around the city alone, and there's this empty, or relatively empty, city street that's shown in a flash. There's so many images that flash before your eyes during this teaser, but one I caught was that city street that Vivi was walking down earlier by herself. So that was her wink. Hyunjin she actually is the one character who I didn't catch a specific little symbol hinting at her prominence in the story, but I feel like, well, I'll get back to her in a second. And then we have Hassel, who is going to actually sit out this Loona comeback, but they are clearly with the 12 o'clock and all the other references to the number 12 are reminding us all that Loona is 12 members no matter what, and that her character is still part of the storyline, whether she's physically present in the videos or not. Heejin with the colors, Hassel with the number 12, and Vivi with the city street image. Now, as for Hyunjin, this is just my prediction, all speculation, but I think because she's the only character that I didn't catch a little reference to through the teaser, I'm guessing that Hyunjin is the character who Olivia is going to pass the torch to. Whether literally in a future video or just metaphorically, you're supposed to know that that happened off screen at some point. I feel like because Olivia held the torch last time, she is going to pass it to Heejin. Because that would also symbolize we're changing the story to a new subunit focus. Because remember, Olivia is from YYXY, the Edenism subunit, and she is going to then hand the torch over to the Loona 1/3 Planet Earth subunit. That's key. So Loona 1/3 is what to keep an eye out on and revisit the stories of for this comeback to make the most sense. Number 2 out of 6 main takeaways I got is that this comeback seems to have numbers that are super significant and intentional. 2 main theories I have, at least one of them's got to be true. I feel like Loona is one of those groups that does everything intentionally, nothing's just a coincidence. I feel like it was very intentional to choose October 19th as a release date because February 19th of 2019 is when the Butterfly video came out. So I feel like releases on the 19th are intended to be related. So keep in mind all of the symbols in the Butterfly music video, like the white sneakers, we'll probably see those again or some other similar reference back to the Butterfly video. Second, less likely interpretation I got about why the number 19 is used here is that, so just stick with me, this is a far out theory, but you never know. So I'm wondering if the Loona members are counting up to something, because the number 18 is significant for them because they had an 18-month long pre-debut rollout project where we were introduced to each member and each subunit before we saw them all come together. So 18 months is a key number for them. 19 is a key number for them because of the Butterfly release and this new album release date. So maybe the number 20 is also going to symbolize something next, and then 21, 22, etc. I don't know, I feel like maybe they're counting to something and those numbers are significant. Third takeaway. If there's any symbol you remember, it should be the moon is key. Not just for like the superpowers that develop when the moon converges and whatnot, but because the moon is the most frequently referenced symbol in both the lyrics and the visuals of their world. So first of all, there is a blue moon that is scheduled for Halloween this year. Not in the music video universe, I'm just talking about in real life. Literally, there's this phenomenon called a blue moon, and it's going to happen. Right now, the plan is for Halloween this year. It's supposed to happen. So I feel like Loona should drop something on Halloween to represent that blue moon. Just saying, that just feels very important and symbolic. Whenever something is announced like an eclipse or something, I always do think of Loona and feel like they should drop a new song or something, but that's just where my mind goes as an orbit. Anyway, so remember that the So What music video had that key line, do not accept the fate of the moon, and of course we had the moon symbols in the LOONAverse, in their eyes and everything, and also keep in mind that this teaser has this voiceover, and the voiceover says, Discovery Houston, we're still looking at it. Now, that quote is an actual quote from the Space Shuttle Discovery's first mission. So this space shuttle called Discovery went on a mission, and the captain speaking was basically saying, Discovery Houston, we're still looking at it. And so to have that line in here is clearly a reference to the number 12, because this space shuttle mission was called the STS-12, and it also has this logo affiliated with the mission with 12 stars. So the number 12 is basically where they're going with that, but also the moon and the outer space reference is all related to Loona's story. So I feel like we're going to get more audio of space missions in future Loona releases or other references to solar happenings, for lack of a better term. So number 4. LOONA's comeback is surely going to continue their trademark message of unity and embracing diversity, because you can tell that they with all of the quick images they showed that showed the time, what time it is in different parts of the world, all the time zones being shown, those are clearly a reference back to the butterfly video where we saw people in different parts of the world dancing and just living their most carefree lives and showing their true colors and their passions and everything. Again, it's that lesson that always carry through their music, is that we are all Luna and we each add our own color to this story, and when it combines it forms this beautiful rainbow, and it really is just as wholesome as it sounds. So that lesson I think will continue to be a big part of Luna's whole universe, because it's just all about uniting people from all over the world, and we can all be Luna and find a place with the band as our centering force that connects us all. Number 5. Keep in mind, Luna wants us to keep an eye out for clothing and other subtle hints that they drop in each video that are hints at what's to come or references to past videos or both. So some more key images I saw in this teaser to keep in mind. One is the train tracks and the high-speed train that was going down them. So that image just reminded me again, I told you to keep this in mind, that part of the monologue from the So What video that said get off the track, I feel like that was, I know that might be a stretch, but I feel like that was alluding to there's a connection here. Whether it means a ton or not, it's a reference, I think, intentionally. Also, there was a taxi cab image as well in here. So the trainee and the taxi, both in this teaser, made me think of the Let Me In video with the plane crash. I don't know, I feel like there's some transportation theme that is intentional here that might lead to deeper meaning down the road for their universe. So just keep that in mind. I also found it interesting that one of the images that flashes on the screen is of Chinese lanterns. And so that made me think about how they have this constant flame symbolism, and it's all about kind of letting your light not go out. And now that there's this Chinese lantern, I'm just wondering if that was their way of showing this evolution of going from not just refusing to let your light go out, but also embracing it even more and showing even more of your true colors. Because, I feel like maybe more characters in the storyline will have that too, where their light isn't just a light. They truly show who they are, that they previously were, teased for or just felt scared to show publicly, like celebrating Chinese New Year or just identifying as Chinese. And I just wonder if that will continue to be a theme where their roots continue to be shown through their light. And it's not just any flame, they all personalize it in a way to really show their full selves and their confidence in themselves as they are and where they come from. I just feel like that personalization of the flame symbol will be a thing that was hinted at during this teaser. Quick recap. So the first thing to keep in mind is Luna 1/3 is going to be key here. Talking about things just happening on planet Earth and embracing your own inner light and all of that. Maybe realizing the superpowers worrying you all along. Number 2, keep in mind that the numbers are significant. The release dates and things like that, I feel like the numbers for this group are always significant. Number 3 is that the moon is the most important symbol here. So if you remember any symbol out of all of these, keep in mind the moon. Number 4, they're going to continue to embrace this message of unity and embracing diversity and just bringing the world together in a way. Number 5 is that keep in mind they try to give us hints with clothing and other subtle symbols in their videos of past and or future videos in the LOONAverse. And lastly, number 6, the flame symbol is key to remember. Remember, Luna is described as the fuse. That term I feel like was intentional to use. It brings to mind electricity, flames, things like that. So YYXY has 4 main emotions to it. It has faith, love, hope, and anger. And each character in the YYXY subunit has one emotion that's associated with them. And Olivia's is anger. So the anger is holding the torch, but I feel like they're passing it on. This not only, I think, shows that this isn't going to be a rosy storyline going forward. It's not going to be all, things are getting better. It's going to be ups and downs in the storyline here. Uphill battle, but they're going to take it. I feel like that's the meaning there, with her character representing anger and being the one to pass the torch. But I also feel like it's, it more has to do with the fact that it's not necessarily as much about Olivia as it is about YYXY being the subunit who has a member passing on the torch to Hyunjin. The one secondary prediction I can make, if it's not Hyunjin who gets passed the torch, either literally or symbolically, is that it would be Heejin, because she was the first one introduced to us and Olivia was the 12th one, so it would feel like a full circle moment. But I feel like the storyline has so much more to show that any full circle moment like that won't be for a while. Like, Olivia and Heejin's characters won't come face to face quite yet. So that's why I still think it's going to be Hyunjin, but we'll see. It's my rundown of what to expect from this comeback and to get excited for. Keep in mind the moon, the flames, all the colors coming together, and all the Loonas around the world finding their place in this fandom and finding their own way to be themselves but also unite as one. And keep in mind the number symbolism and the fact that these worlds are converging and there's a passing of the torch here to a new subunit. Those are the ultimate takeaways. So very excited to see where the story unfolds from here. And again, if you want to hear more, check out Into the LOONAverse or back into the LOONAverse episodes of the show. If you also go to the show's website, 17caratkpop.weebly.com, you can click episodes, and then the drop-down menu will show sort by artist, and if you click sort by artist, you can find the Luna-specific episodes together, and any artist-specific episode you want to go to, so you can find episodes that way if you don't want to scroll down far and far and far and far to find the Luna episodes on Spotify or wherever you're listening. So you could also find a shortcut through the website. So just a PSA there. Thank you for listening to my predictions and get hyped for this comeback. I'm very excited and I hope you are too. So, in conclusion, stan Luna.